Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have all gathered here today for the next week of the Melee Draft League. Now, a lot of you are wondering, how can Hylian possibly top the marvel of just sheer utter ridiculousness that was Quick Claw Ferrothorn? And to answer that, I only have two words for you. Choice Scarf. I am joined today with Clay.
Oh.
And this week, I am up against, if I can get the team name here. This week, I am up against the Baltimore Braviaries, led by Moxie and Fernape. So, as you can see, it's the possible teams I could be up against right now. And so we had to plan pretty accordingly. The end result was, of course, this. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, Ben, the hell, dude? Why are you running a Scarf Ferrothorn with Explosion? So, the short answer is blame Sandy. The long-winded answer is something I genuinely don't think he's going to bring, but Clay seems hell-bent that he's going to, is Trick Latios. And my team just doesn't agree with that at all. And so Sandy was like, well, what if you just gave the Ferrothorn Scarf, so that way it'll still be choiced? And so, and from there, we ran with it. And so the end result is our choice Scarf Iron Barbs Ferrothorn with Stealth Rock Power Whip knockoff. And for the memes, I threw an Explosion. In hindsight, probably would be better off to replace that with, maybe Iron Head or some other, form of steel coverage. But just for the memes, I went with Explosions. As for our spread, we had to make it jolly. We opted for 220 speed EVs, given a total of 144. And the reason we did this is so that way it just barely outspeeds his Pangoro alongside some of the other slower mons on his team. So that way we can send this thing in safely when the time comes for it. I'm going to make sure that I need to, in order for this plan to work, this needs to be preserved as much as possible. So, obviously, I can't send this in turn 1 this time. And honestly, that's probably for the best, because from the last 2 weeks, I've led Ferrothorn on both, so that's probably what my opponent's going to expect. Going into the rest of the team preview, we have pretty bog standard stats everywhere else. Our Pelipper for this week is Bold Nature with max HP, max defense, running Scald, Defog, Roost, U-Turn. Pretty basic set. Scald's here because my opponent has a lot of physical attackers on his team, and so while Scald's not going to be doing the most damage possible with Pelipper, it is going to be the best long-term option, because if I can burn a few of his physical attackers, that just works wonders for my team. So Scald is being run here less for actual power and more for just utility, which is why you want to run Scald in the first place. Defog's here just to get rid of opposing hazards if he has any. Roost is here so that way I can keep Pelipper alive for a little while. We did not bring Roost last week, and I heavily regretted it, so we're running it again. And then, of course, we have U-Turn for our pivot options. Just gives a nice pivot into our other mons, and so that way we can get a little bit of chip damage in there when switching out, as opposed to just hard switching. We're running Damp Rock with Drizzle, so that way we can have the maximum amount of rain turns possible each set. turning this back into Robert, our Swampert. The hidden ability is damp. Might be asking why. Only I get to blow up here. That's the only reason why. Only I get to blow up. All right, you need to establish your territory, and you need to heavily guard it. And this is heavily guarding if I've ever heard of it. Obviously, it will still be Swift Swim after Mega Evolving, which is great. Bulk Up, Waterfall, Earthquake, Ice Punch. We are also running Jolly Nature here. We put just enough into speed so that I can end up reliably outspeeding every single one of his mons except for Scarf Latios when rain's up. That is what this speed will net me. Once Swift Swims up, I can outspeed every single one of his mons except for Scarf Latios. And even then, the only way Scarf Latios outspeeds me is if it's max speed investment. So this is just to ensure that I can reasonably outspeed just about anything he can throw at me. Ice Punch is here to give me some coverage against Lottie, because that's something that could take care of a lot of my team if I don't prep for it. Earthquake's just good stab, general coverage. Hits a few of his other mons. Waterfall is there for Mamoswine and also just to be a very powerful stab move. We've already gone over Ferrothorn, going into Will Smith, our Thunderous T. Nasty Plot, Thunder, Focus Blast, Sludge Wave, holding Life Orb. We are running Timid, max special attack, max speed. In case you haven't noticed, we're making sure a lot of our Pokemon have maximum speed investment, and that's because we need to ensure that we outspeed his heavy hitters, because if we do not, it's kill or be killed. In a lot of the matchups versus my opponent's team here, it's going to come down to whoever gets the first move. So I need to ensure that I am as fast as possible, otherwise I am probably not living to turn 2. So this is quite literally a kill or be killed situation in across a lot of our team members, and I'm sure my opponent's probably planning the same way, because it's true on both sides. We've run Nasty Plot just to get some special attack coverage. We're running Thunder over Thunderbolt because we're going to be in rain most of the time, so it only makes sense. Focus Blast is there to deal with his slacking if he brings that, because that could be a huge problem for us. It also serves as another check for his Pangoro, among a few of his other mons. And Sludge Wave is there to be used versus his Celebi, versus his Tapu Koko. Sludge Wave just checks quite a few of his mons, and it's just a good option for me. You might be asking why Sludge Wave instead of Sludge Bomb, because it's only 5 less base power. That's why. I want all the base power I can get in this matchup. That 5 base power could make all the difference. And I'm not really too concerned about the chance to poison, because I'm going to want to really try to burn as much as I can anyway. So if I poison them, that just kind of impedes me. Going into Agent 47, our Scope Lens Kingdra. This is just a pretty bog standard sniper Critra set. We've got Scope Lens, we've got Sniper, we've got Focus Energy, and then of course we've got Hydro Pump as our Water Stab, we've got Draco Meteor as our Dragon Stab, and we've got Ice Beam just as another attempt to check for Latios, to check for Celebi, to just Ice Beam as a whole just checks a lot of his mons. And it either hits for super effective on almost everything he has, or it just does a ton of damage neutrally. So it's just a good thing to have in this matchup. And of course, obviously, since we're running the crit reset, we don't really care about the special attack reductions for Draco Meteor, because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a crit, and it's going to hit hard because of Sniper. We're running a pretty box standard set here. Again, we're running max speed investment, max special attack. We need to make sure we outspeed as much as possible. This is not me sloppily putting together a set. This is me making sure I make the first move. If I don't make the first move, I die. And then, of course, it is time, in addition to Kingdra also making his debut, it's time for our well-played Beartic. We are running a Life Orb Swords Dance set, Jolly, max speed, max attack. We're running Swift Swim here just because we're not using Hail, so we might as well get the double speed investment. Swords Dance, pretty standard for our physical set. We're running Liquidation just for more Water Stab. Also gives us that 20% chance to lower defense, which can come in handy in some clutch situations. Icicle Crash is here just as another check for Lottie, Celebi, among other options. Just does a ton of damage. Also has the chance to flinch, just a good option. And then, of course, we have Play Rough here, because this can be a huge game changer versus a few of his mons. That hits his Latios, that hits quite a few of his other mons. It serves as a good neutral option. It can also lower the physical attack of a lot of his mons, and considering that he has mostly physical attackers on his team, that is a very nice thing to have. And so it's just, in general, a nice, just consistent option versus this matchup. So, we've gone through team preview, and so I will cut to when we are in the middle of the match. So I will see you guys then. And we're here. All right, the battle started. I have procured a Kevin.
Hello, hello.
Which I'm assuming that's you in the chat.
No, that's someone else.
Oh, you're just not signed in then. Okay. So I'm here in my match versus my opponent here. My opponent brought about what I was expecting. The only one that I was really that I'm really raising an eyebrow on is Wheezing. Everything else I was expecting. I think the reason the only thing I can think if he's bringing Wheezing is that it's got to be Levitate, because if that's neutralizing gas, that dies to a single Earthquake. Let me just real quick about... Alright, so I have a feeling he's probably expecting me to lead with Ferrothorn. I've also led with Ferrothorn in every other match so far, and so I think it's just a good idea in general to just kind of mix this up a little bit. So I'm going to opt to lead with my Pelipper and just get Rain up ASAP. This seems like it was an idea for the better.
Apparently.
Yep. So the question I have is if he's going to turn 1 Mega, because if he turn 1 Megas, he loses Rock Stab, but he could still potentially hit me with a Stone Edge. That'll do a ton of damage. At the same time, he could also just be Hazard Stacker. It might be safer for me to go for the U-turn. Personally, I think I'm going to opt to go for Scald first and try to get that burn.
So you can Mega in this tier?
If you drafted the Mega Pokemon, yes, but you don't have to draft it. You don't have to Mega immediately.
All right.
So, for example, I drafted Mega Swampert, so I can Mega Evolve, but I don't have to do a turn 1.
That does add some trickery to it.
Yep. I'm going to opt to go for Scald here. U-turn is probably the safer option here, but I really want to try to burn this thing, because if I can, that's a load of pressure off my shoulders. Or actually, no, I think I am going to U-turn. Just because it's this. Yep, there's what I was expecting. Alright. So at this point, I've got a few options. I can U-turn into my Mega Swampert, and then just immediately go for an Earthquake to hit for massive damage. However, it won't kill him because Filter. I could go into Robo-Crop, try to take a few hits, get some rocks up. I could switch into my actual counter for this, which is my Thunderous Therian, and just try to hit it with a Focus Blast. Or I could just switch to another Pokemon and buy some time. Personally, I think that my best course of action right now is to go for Ferrothorn and just kind of scout a little bit. Which seems to have been the good choice. So he put up rocks. I'm going to counter with some rocks of my own. Or to say, I think I do barely outspeed him if he's not max speed investment here, which is definitely going to raise an eyebrow for him. That might give away the tech. But we're going to see what he opts to do here. The opposite switch to his wheezing. I'm going to set up my stealth rocks. The illusion is still strong.
People will be like, what illusion?
Yeah. The one problem is now I've got to switch, because otherwise it's gonna I'm gonna stealth rock again. So I think what I'm actually gonna ought to do here, as crazy as it seems, is we're really just gonna go straight back into Pelican. All right, I will take the wisp. That's fine. He was expecting me to switch into a wall, which is kind of what I was predicting. I'm gonna go for defog just to get rid of hazards on both sides here. Just because there are quite a few Pokemon on my side that just do not appreciate the rocks, so I'm going to get rid of those as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Switches out Suicune. So I'm going to just hard switch into Robocrop again, because I'm fully expecting a Scald or an Ice Beam or something from this thing. He would not switch this out on a Pelipper if he didn't have some sort of tech in store. So any option that Suicune has to deal with Pelipper, Ferrothorn resists. So this is just the safe play. And then I'll be able to retaliate the next turn with a Power Whip, which, even if he switches into Celebi, will hit for heavy damage. Like, there is nothing on his team that appreciates a Power Whip. Hell, even that'll still do like a good 10% or so to like that Mega Aggron, which is quite a bit.
Is it still Mega, even though he switched out?
Yes. Mega is preserved.
Alright.
Yep. Alright. I'm going to go for the Power Whip here. This will actually be a good check to see if he's max speed investment. He's not. He's not, and now he's going to raise some eyebrows. So I see what he's going for here. He brought Sunny Day Weather Ball to go for some shenanigans here. Unfortunately, nobody expects Scarf Ferrothorn. And now he is probably extremely confused.
He's like looking in the battle chat like, Quick Claw?
He's in the code. He's like, I'm doing 1,000 calculations per minute. They're all wrong. He's probably like, how? How is he outspeeding me? It's a Ferrothorn.
Well, to be fair, Suicune isn't the fast thing anyways.
That's true.
So he might just be thinking.
Yeah, switches into Mega Aggron. I'm going to go for another Power Whip. He might be catching on now. Either way, we're going to switch back to Pelipper to get the rain up. Because odds are, he's got tech for that sun. I don't want that. Oh. Oh, you.
See, usually when I have Mega Aggron, I also run Thunder Punch.
I forgot it got it. I'm going to go for the Nasty Plot here. Thunder Punch doesn't kill me. It's probably going to switch into something else. This just gives me a good option.
I mean, yeah, of course, Thunder Punch doesn't kill you.
Yeah. Doesn't touch me at all because of Volt Absorb. Alright, well now I got a problem. Because he resists everything this Thunderous has for him. He probably outspeeds. It's time for the tech. Is he Trick? He is not. I'm going to go straight for knockoff here. Something's getting their item taken away.
And gonna do a ton of damage as well.
Yep. He's probably expecting something from this, though. So he switches in the Mega Aggron. The one thing that doesn't deal with knockoff. Alright. At this point, it's time to make some plays. We're on limited time. Rain's gonna go away soon. It's time to make some plays.
So how much is the timer at?
We've got 3 turns of Rain left.
Oh yeah. But the battle time, how long do you have per battle?
Oh no, I don't. We're not on timer.
Oh, all right.
It's just a matter of I only have 3 turns to make use of this Rain. So I'm gonna straight Mega Evolve and bulk up, and then take advantage of the fact he's probably gonna switch. I don't think this Aggron has anything for me. We've seen Stealth Rocks, we've seen Thunder Punch. Yep, sure enough. Alright.
I think I might know what that Weezing is gonna do.
Yeah.
That's not what I thought it was gonna do.
Of course.
So are you neutral on my attack now?
I should be neutral. Well, I should be -1, actually.
Yeah. See, if I had been him, I would definitely had Clear Smog.
Yeah.
He probably just goes into what Celebi right now.
Celebi, Suicune. He's got a ton of options here.
Mm-hmm.
The only one that's really... Yep.
Yep. Sunny day, Celebi.
Weather Ball. God damn.
Jesus.
I didn't even realize it got that. Oh, no.
It probably also has, what is it, Solar Beam if it's sun.
Oh, it hands down does. God dang it. I'm so upset that I forgot about Thunder Punch.
Oh. That's a heavy boy.
Yeah, it is. We're just gonna go for some damage from Earthquake. Alright.
By that amount of damage, you could have probably two-coated
Yeah.
last time.
I'm gonna hard switch back into Roboprop.
It's time.
Not yet.
Uh,
No, fuck it. Shit. He's got Draco for this. He has to. Yep. I had forgot about Thunder Punch Aggron.
Ah, well. It be like that sometimes.
Alright, well, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week. At this point, I'm just going to try to win one match. That's all I want. See you guys then.